What? The countertop.
Recording in progress. This is why I should trust things.
So that's good. Yeah, so
That's where we like to stop
It
at our
need-
house,
it need-
95%.
it needs to
enough,
be.
we're done.
Because if you're done, you'll die. No, we won't.
That's I think that's like an old Chinese proverb.
It needs to be done.
Thank you, be quiet.
We do not need to do this.
Who does most of the cooking anyway?
Yeah, how do I do that?
Ah,
I thought I did need meat.
yeah, we always have a deck that we can sit on. We have furniture out.
I saw
There's so much is
that.
going on. Well, thank you.
I need to
We-
go back there.
We
So-
Massive.
we're finishing the ramp on the other side because my kids insisted. They said, look,
That's good. Good
when you
for
get
them.
old, we want to be able to like launch you off the deck.
Let me give you another one that my kids told us.
Mhm.
Around the time you file for Social Security is the time you need to switch doctors and go to a gerontologist. Thank you for that fantastic advice. I'm looking forward to that.
Your kids.
Yeah, they're doing
Very
our planning, our advanced planning. They got it under control.
Wow, you guys are real going on. This is great.
Oh, my
New flooring, new
New everything.
cabinets we took out. This wall.
Oh, good for you. I like that whole open thing. I wish I mean, we did that in our kitchen and opened up to the hallway because it was like, there was a door there. And, but we had some trouble because it was all hardwood flooring through the whole house.
I don't think
So
so.
we had to put in tile.
So bright. Oh
Isn't
my
that nice?
word.
So
Yeah.
IKEA stuff. So,
Great.
you know, you have to
Assemble.
a chair.
My daughter's getting ready to do her,
You have to assemble.
oh, I know, I've done IKEA
Did
stuff
you
before. It's crazy.
Lighten up the living room too, like
Hmm.
paint it lighter or
No, it was always,
Haven't you ever seen
Okay. Just being open makes the big
very
difference,
open
I
makes a
guess.
big difference.
Yeah.
the cartoon of the guy who comes in for a job interview? It's at IKEA. He goes, go ahead, take a seat. The seat's all sitting in pieces on the floor.
Yeah, we are now
This one
experts in
bigger?
constructing IKEA.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and was it pretty reasonable? Because my
Or is
daughter's
it
looking
just
for
like,
stuff.
because
for the
like if
kitchen.
somebody
No,
else
it really
joins, I want to
wasn't
make sure I
that
can
bad.
like
It-
unmute
Compared to
them.
everything else we looked
So
at.
like
it
we'll
was
show
out
another person.
there. We,
logs in.
this is always, like
Over
that.
here.
We didn't get the style we wanted. because they-
Well, right now it's just
problem
me and
with
me.
everything.
Oh,
We
just, yeah. with-
It
yeah.
didn't happen. So we went to the
Sandy joined.
next one down, so.
So we should have-
No,
we
it's
have
funny
four
because
anyways.
we found some stuff
We're fine.
at Home Depot that she liked. It wasn't that expensive. It was kind of like
It's, well, this
their
is fine.
starter
so
stuff
great.
and shaker stuff. But
He's
that's what
not
she
voting.
liked.
He's a not voting.
But she's gonna have to move her
So-
sink, which means she has to go to the concrete slab
Mm.
for the setback because everything's on the outside wall. It freezes it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why people do that, I do
That
not
would be
know.
off a little.
Or find a way to keep it insulated from the outside wall. So she's gonna move that, but she's moving her washer and dryer upstairs. I'm helping her. with that.
Oh, that's the best.
She's gonna
Washer
plumbing.
upstairs.
Oh, she's
Oh my
so
gosh.
happy.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't happened yet because they have to put in the dryer vent. But once that's done, she and I finish up everything else.
Uh-huh.
And she's gonna stack her washer and dryer in this large closet upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Eh.
she's very happy about that. And so she comes over and helps me out with the deck. She's a beast.
What else they could do? It looks pretty good.
Well, we're gonna put in a railing on where the ramp is. And then I have to engineer a railing for the curtain around it. So I gotta build a jig and lamination.
I can't believe what you've done already, man.
Oh.
That curved wood there. It's beautiful.
Oh, thanks. That was my first experiment. I did a lot of YouTube videos.
Nice work.
Thanks. Yeah, hope it lasts. At least until my kids take over the house and they kick us out. I think that's their plan. I'm pretty nefarious about that.
Hey, Sandy, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, thank you.
I'll keep this on mute unless I've got something to say. Is that the way to do it?
Yes, please.
Okay, thanks.
It's time, Mr. President.
It's time. All right, let's call order. Roll call.
Tammy Bowman.
Greg Campbell.
George Harris.
Sandy Butler,
Is that it?
So I'll ask for Bob Post. Should I ask for Bob Post and Ted Julian?
We do have a quorum, that's correct.
We have a quorum.
All right. So has everybody had a chance to read the minutes from last meeting?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I
Sandy?
reviewed them. Yes, I reviewed them.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from the June meeting as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Nobody's opposed?
nope.
Proud
I
of
see,
you.
I remember.
Proud of you.
Good job.
I'll get the hang of this in a couple of years. Anyway, all right, so we're good. How about old business?
None of that?
Nothing?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
No, it's all new.
All right, all new business, great.
New business just walked in.
New bit, yeah.
Oh, great.
All right, so first on the agenda today is a COA for a rehab project for 201 East State Street, better known as the Yellow House.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll just kind of show some pictures here of what the Mets are wanting to do with the exterior of the Yellow House, some of the issues that it currently has. Pretty self-explanatory. There's a lot going on there. So you've got chimneys in disrepair, some windows in poor shape, there's greenery, broken windowsill shutters, asbestos siding is failing. So they are looking to rehab the building, siding removal, chimney removal, roof repair and replacement, window repair replacement, asbestos remediation. So what we're looking to do is have the board grant their COA to do these exterior renovations on the Yellow House. As far as the analysis from staff, this is a major improvement of both aesthetics, functionality, and asbestos remediation is good. On the existing building, will allow the space to be utilized instead of sitting vacant, and this does not pose any threats to public safety. If anything, it improves public safety. So you've got some bullet points there that's how you make your COA determination. But they would like to ask for a COA for this before they move on to their facade grant application. So any questions, Lindy, if you want to come up, or Taylor, more than welcome to answer anything that you might have.
I have questions. If you have questions for me,
Yeah,
I can get-
yeah.
Okay, what is the siding material going to be?
The siding material currently are the one we're gonna be using,
When you're using?
RD4 siding.
All right, very good.
We are using PPS for chimney removal, roof repair, siding, everything from the top to the bottom. Alex is aware of the scope of the project, and he's seen all this, and he says.
Now, this house didn't have any foundation issues, did it?
It needs tuck and point, but nothing major.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
On that front window, that lower window, that seems to be an original window. Is that correct? Front
Yes.
lower window?
And those are going to be, those windows that are replacing them, they're not going to be.
So there's
double
only
pane.
one window that's an original window that we are going to preserve because it doesn't have rotten wood around it. It's the top window on the right or the east side right there, the one that has the grid. The wood around it on the outside is intact
Mhm.
and the window itself is intact. So that's the only one that seemed to be salvageable for safety and efficiency. This is going to be a schoolhouse and therefore
Oh, okay.
having historic windows, we're gonna preserve as much as we can.
Right.
And make use of them, but we also need to maintain safety.
Right, understood.
But that was high enough.
Mm.
Have you found any old photos of this property? Okay,
I haven't either.
no.
I've searched through downtown pictures with the Ball State
Mhm.
I've looked at most
thing
of
that
them.
they've
Yeah.
got. There's a,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. right, and there's a few other sources I know Kayla had given me to look for that, and I just couldn't.
You know, we tried to find pictures of our house and there's nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know anything of the ownership transfers back in the day what this original use was or anything in the
You can go
history?
back to when it was purchased by St. Pierre. But before that, I have to check. I have had Bob Post walk the property with me 2 separate times.
He can make some good recommendations too, so, yeah. Awesome.
I did want to ask the significance of like the yellow. Would there be another color you might be interested in having it, or do you like the yellow? Or I didn't know if it was historically significant because I saw your hardy board was kind of the same color, and I was like, well, maybe they'd want to do something different.
So Taylor pulled party board samples off of the Hardy website. PPS is going to paint it whatever color we prefer.
Oh,
We
okay.
moved here from New Orleans though, and so the purple, green, and gold is pretty significant to us. We own 2 other houses on State Street. One happens to be green and one happens to be purple. So keeping it gold is kind of a
Okay.
sentimental thing, but it
I
doesn't have
see.
to be.
Okay.
I have a question. Why did you move from New Orleans?
Yeah.
Free childcare, my parents live here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to be in our family.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that happens a lot.
I've told so many people though, that Hamilton, New Orleans is a big city, small town feel.
Mhm.
And it's a
Mhm.
small town feel because of the close knit community. They're all jammed together.
Right.
Hamilton has that same vibrancy and that same close knit.
It's pretty unique. Yeah, yeah.
Pretty special place.
So if it were gonna be in Indiana.
Excellent. Okay. See, my wife loves this house. She said, well, let's just buy it and make it a vacation home. I said, so we can go all the way down the street. Great. She loves the place.
Yeah.
Talks about it coming alive.
If there's, I mean, we wouldn't be opposed, if there was something historical that surfaced out of the woodwork that said this would be just.
Yeah.
lit, like,
I
it'd
just
be
kind of
event-
thought a different color might suit it a little bit better because it is,
It's not going to be that color yellow.
yeah.
Those renderings kind of look that.
They do. They look very similar. So I thought it was.
Well, they
the
probably
same.
just pulled it for the rendering anyway.
What's-
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
hilarious though is that everyone in the community knows, like I was in
Mm.
It's the-
chiropractor and someone said something about the yellow.
The yellow
and it's
house,
just- it's
right.
known as that.
It
So
is.
it's kind of a funny,
It
I
is.
know.
Yeah.
but
We're gonna freshen her up.
Okay. Good.
Great.
Give her a fresh coat of paint.
Any more questions?
I have one more, George.
Sure.
On the windows, that not putting the same type of windows back in is going to change that house tremendously with the big open glass. Is there any way that you could have some type of panels put in there to kind of look like the original home? It looks awfully modern right now. I know it's not, but taking all those panes out of there and whatever, what are those things called, crossbows or whatever they are? Is there any way
Buttons?
those could be?
Buttons, yeah,
Yeah, that's an option to add in.
yeah.
Yeah, now I'm looking at it too, and I mean, I'm trying to decide, is it the rendering that makes it look so flat? Or is it because you've taken what remaining texture there is on the building
Well, there's no
away? Is
shutters
that
on there.
intentional?
No, it's the
You know.
rendering.
Okay, Yeah.
Because the 2 main project pieces here are siding and windows are the biggest. But it's gonna be.
yeah.
So there's no way to know whether the shutters were actually the original part.
The
of the
shutters were
house.
after,
Yeah,
they were put on after.
Yeah.
The awnings on the side, the west side of the house, those were after, but they're antique awnings. So they're not on the rendering, but they could be repaired, replaced, and put back up.
I can't tell what's going on with the porch. Did you?
Yeah, the porch
remove-
is staying intact.
Okay.
Right now, it's a pressed lead floor, which filters out to the
have
gutter.
that.
So we're keeping that as long as
Yeah.
it's safe. It's gonna be repaired and then the gutters will all be.
Hmm.
redone. But-
that's basically, that's a sleeping porch, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But it's not becoming
Forgive the
screened or something? I can't, yeah, I'm squinting at the rendering, trying to
forgive
figure
the
that.
render, I mean,
Sorry.
we were looking at, I mean, it's gonna be of what this is with the side.
So you're
So-
keeping as
Yeah.
much character as possible.
Oh, yeah.
When we had inspection. That tremendous value.
The other thing that Bob recommended, instead of in the render where it shows picture windows for those big windows, is getting sash windows instead.
Mhm.
So that's something that
Okay.
would better match.
I like the way you cleared out the entire town behind it too. That's.
That's another reason it looks so flat, probably.
There you
So,
go.
right.
There are no trees.
Yeah.
There's no, you know.
Blue sky.
Somebody's
How
not
do
very
the
good at
windows-
Minecraft.
How do the windows currently function? Are they sash windows or do they a casement? What's
Oh, They
happening?
are, but they're, somebody in this whole property went really crazy with paint and painted like everything shut.
Oh, yeah.
Doors shut, like
Ooh.
everything is painted shut. So, they function to the point where Bob and I, both on each side, pushing them up. They don't function as far as like, even though from the inside they look nice, they're not functional. Like, I mean, we couldn't get out, there's fire. It was like we would die. So, most are painted shut, but the ones that we could shimmy up needed some replacement. He was giving me a little tutorial on how to replace the
Wait.
rope with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sandy, you have anything else?
No, but did I hear that they are gonna put in those, I don't even know what they're called. I
Those
can't,
muntins, I believe.
yeah, so they're gonna put in any type of those to make it look like it's an older window.
We will keep as much of it as we can. Yes.
And you can order those with the new windows.
So the
Yeah.
company that we have gone with, they've done replacements on our own house, which is a historic house, and they do great work and they preserve the former window too, which I like. But I haven't signed off and completed the argument, so it's still open to adjust based on this meeting.
So you could approve the COA with the condition that it has got the panes,
Right.
the-
For the look of.
for the look,
The look.
Yeah.
the look of
To preserve the
panes.
look of it. yeah.
Because the way that they do their interior paint, so they're inside of the
Right.
double pane windows.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
So it still looks the same.
That's fine.
and,
That-
go ahead, Sandy.
I just think that would be my only recommendation because if you, I mean, I'm comparing the old with the new and the new looks like it's very modern looking, I think with the big glass panes. And it does need those panels in there to keep that same look. And the shutters we know are not original because shutters back then covered up the whole window in this case is not. So I'm not so much on the shutters, but I am about the windows because this is on State Street. And I would just like to keep it historically correct as possible and not move the direction of these great big huge windows with, it just looks modern to me. So that's my thoughts on it.
I would agree too. And if
Yeah.
you can get the exterior mullions rather than the fully enclosed, that keeps the dimensionality and the proportion of what you know to be the original and mimicking that throughout would help. So if the fenestration openings stay the same size and it appears from the renderings that they do in whatever dimensionality of the original windows can be added in with your order. That's what I would go for. I mean, say, instead of making them, 9 or 12 panels or something, whatever number
I think there's like 4.
and size that they currently
So
have.
you'd be basing it
Yeah.
on the original window that's still left there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, I'll do what they offer.
right,
I
yeah,
can't
exactly. I mean,
custom order them, you know what I mean? But we'll do.
Well, all
what they
windows are
offer.
custom,
But I mean,
so
yeah,
the best they can.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
And they had some options, but they were not identical to
Right.
the windows that were there. So I have to check that out. Because the panes, especially on the top windows, were horizontal. They weren't vertical panes. So,
all right. Any recommendations from staff?
No, I think that's a good point to bring up, to add some
Yeah.
additional panes with the windows.
Right.
And, we'll make sure when you get the specs for those, we'll just review it quickly
Okay.
and make sure that it's nothing.
Okay.
So that's no problem. So as far as I'm aware, you would move to approve the COA.
Do we have a motion?
conditions on- Yeah.
Yeah. with the-
Yeah, I move to approve the COA with the condition that the windows are brought back to staff to just look over to see that they provide
Mhm.
muntins, I guess.
I think
in
that's what they're called.
accordance
That's what I've
with
heard.
something similar to the
Specific
original.
name.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
like approximating the original windows.
Excellent.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
Excellent. Any opposed?
There we go. Good job. No problem.
Hey, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing what's going to go on over there. It's nice.
And then you're welcome to stay up there. They are asking for the facade grant now that the COA
Oh.
has been approved.
There you go.
Same stuff, essentially. The estimated repair or replacement is about 103,000. They're requesting 50, but we only have 34,000 left, 34,662. So that's the maximum we could allot. There are estimates. There's a packet of things like that that we could put together once you get your.
So add 10,000.
That we could update those parts. We do have a full application packet from her. It's on the G drive. I realize now I didn't give you iPads.
No, that's all right.
But that's on there and could easily be updated with the new one. But the max we have to give regardless is 34,600.
Right.
So there's any questions on that?
I don't have any. I mean, I think this kind of dovetails with what's already going on.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Any motions? To approve?
I'll make a motion that we accept her.
Sandy, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I make a motion that we accept her grant for the available remaining funds of 34,662.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, cool.
All right. So I'll shoot you an email just with your next steps. We typically want to see movement within 90 days. I know COVID has made
They
things.
were just waiting for today.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're ready to go. The check's coming third, so you'll get a third to begin, a third halfway through, and a third when it's completely finished. So you'll just be in contact with my department about getting the funds and doing the midway inspection.
Okay.
So
I do have a question. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, no one say anything. Is it possible for us to come through that home? Because I've always loved that home and I would love to do a tour of it if it's open.
yeah, she said, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Actually,
good.
I was gonna do a community tour maybe and let people that want to see it prior to us,
That'd be awesome.
prior to us starting work on it.
Put a tip jar on the
And
inside.
then a ribbon cutting when we're done. So I'll make sure you guys have that information.
We have big
Awesome.
scissors.
Oh.
Big scissors.
We have big scissors. Be there.
Do we really have big scissors?
We
Oh,
do.
they're huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what, how often do you get to use those? Yeah.
I mean, we just used them the other day in Hunsinger for their, I think Hunsinger for their ribbon cutting on Maplewood.
Oh, awesome.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. So Denise is the keeper of the large scissors.
That's very important.
So just the remaining items on the agenda. Kayla started this and I didn't follow up with this when I took over, but COAs that have been issued by staff since the last meeting, the HPC holds. I'm going to start updating you guys on the ones I have allowed. Typically, it's just signage. For the most part. So 106 State Street, the old Quack Daddies, they got a new
Oh.
sign. It's a donut and ice cream shop called Oanalahu Lulu. So that's the only one I've had since our last meeting. So I will be updating you for anything following that. The next thing that we have is something that was brought up last year, but we never voted or really went further with it. So this was time limits. You guys discussed time limits on COAs. So I think that this is important because we have time limits on building permits, on sign permits, on all these sorts of things, that it has to be completed within a time frame, or else you have to come back and reapply for it. So I think we can kind of do something similar to that. Maybe it's a little longer, something like 24 months with our COAs. That way, if there's any sort of best practices or something that comes forward where it could be done better and someone hasn't used their COA to that point, they'd have to reapply with, a best practice in place. It would allow HPC to reauthorize a project based on possible new practices, changes in our design guidelines, should that happen, or changes in planned uses for downtown. So I think it's good to, if you have someone with a COA from 2010, it might not exactly fit the vision for now. So
Right.
just something to think about. I don't think it'll happen that often. Most people who get COAs are immediately moving on something because they want to improve their building or their space. But just in case we do get something that is outdated and it was authorized, probably just want to make sure we keep it in time with
And
that.
you have a roundabout idea about like how long?
I think 2 years is a good
Yeah.
time period. Our sign permits are 6 months, building permits are 18 months.
Mhm.
And so since this is a little bit more specialized, 24 months, I think is an appropriate time to come back
I would
and
agree with
re-ask
that.
permission to do whatever it is the applicant wants to do.
Can
And
that
that
be done by staff if it hasn't changed?
you can make, we can make that part of it.
Yeah.
That if there isn't significant change, it just has to be staff approved. But if there is significant change or new best practices or the staff is not comfortable, it would come to HPC for approval, for reapproval. And these
Okay.
don't cost anything, so it's not really too much. So I know suggested last year was 24 months.
Yeah. I would agree with that too.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
Oh, yeah, you can close it. Yeah. We're getting new carpet.
Ooh, awesome.
I thought he was asking for permission.
Oh, yeah. No, very much need a new carpet. It doesn't really close that well. So if you wanted to make a motion to do
We could
that,
do
to
that,
have time
yeah.
limits with, also with the staff approval bit, you're welcome to make that motion.
So make a motion of the 2-year.
I would make a motion to limit the COAs to 2 years. Staff approved unless there are significant changes, and once they bring it back to the HPC.
Excellent.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
You're getting so
I'm
good
getting better at this.
Practicing glass.
It's only taken a year.
You're getting so good at it. Next is the design guideline updates. So I'm not sure when that document was created, but it references our old UDO. And there's a lot of new best practices I think we could incorporate into it. So what myself and my staff are going to do is go through it and kind of make you a updated draft. We'll go through and review it. You can review it on G Drive. And then eventually, once we've had comments and changes from the board, we can vote in a new design guideline. So I'm going to start working on that shortly. If you have any suggestions thus far that you think that our design guidelines are missing, please just email them to me, or anyone you might think, should review it and might have some
Are
suggestions.
the design guidelines on the website?
They are, yes,
Okay.
they're under Historic Preservation
Okay,
Commission.
cool.
But, but when I read through that, what role does the planning commission play in this?
They don't.
I thought I read that it had to be approved by or
far
reviewed
as-
by the plan commission and then.
As far as I know, historic preservation guidelines are strictly your
Okay, I'll
designation.
have to go back and
'Cause
reread it.
I know I had asked Jeff about that, that it's your document.
It seemed curious to me if they would have a say in.
Yeah,
Not
they
that they
should.
shouldn't,
They
but-
should. If it says that, it might have been because our old UDO might have made that the rule. Our new UDO definitely does not.
I'll go back and I probably misread it, but
But if you find something, just shoot me an email,
Okay.
let me know. But as it stands, you should be able to just edit that and update it as you see fit.
okay.
You're the only approving body on it. So any other comments on that going on? Okay. And then last thing, the JT Chambers building, Joanne's building, finished their completion report for their facade grant. So they're our first applicant to completely finish. She was mailed her check today for the last third of her project. If you haven't seen it over there, it looks amazing. They did incredible work. really happy that got taken care of. So
Did the,
That's-
did the process go as we thought it would go?
it went very
Third,
smooth.
third, and
Yes,
everything?
it was very, very
Perfect.
rapid. So I like to see that,
Well,
movement initiative. So
you all did such a good work on
Yeah.
the proposal.
Yeah.
That it
Yeah.
lays it out very clearly, but.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So now that we've allotted our final amount of facade grant money, I will be on the lookout for anything else besides, the next round of MSRP grants that we could use for this. I'm sure there's something, I'm not sure how much it will be, because we got a pretty big chunk with the $250,000 last time. So I'll be on the lookout, but if you see anything, please shoot it my way and we'll apply for
Well,
it.
Elon Musk didn't buy Twitter, so he's got some extra cash lying around.
I thought about texting him.
I
How about-
sent you one for the state historic preservation grants, and it's something I was thinking about for the building that my
Mhm.
office occupies, the
Mhm.
Thomas Pendleton home. I think that it might be more broadly written for other work. So
Okay,
maybe when you look at that one, it would have something for additional buildings. It does mention nonprofits in a district that are contributing. So
okay.
yours is and mine is. So maybe we
Okay.
have more than just the two of us and we could get a bigger grant. It's a 60% match and I would love a 60% match also.
What is that one called?
I want to say it's like an HPC grant from the state of Indiana.
Okay,
I don't have that email account on this phone, so I can't send it, but I can when I get home.
yeah, just
Yeah.
shoot it over to me and I'll take a look at it. So we'll be on the lookout for another round of that at some point. I think this is the second one we've gotten as far as I know. So I think they typically have some, who it's from might change. This was some food and beverage, but I think we can get something.
Or aren't we limited on the food and beverage every 3 years? Is that it?
It might be, I'm not
I
sure.
think that's what they said. You
Mhm,
couldn't do- come back. 3 years.
mhm.
So
I'll
we
check
should
into
check,
it.
yeah. That was
So-
good money.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Well used also.
Yes. Thanks for cleaning this out, by the way. No, congratulations.
Yes,
That's great.
good.
Yeah.
Good to go there. And I don't think I have anything else unless you want an update on the 104 State Street. The
Yeah,
bake shop
let's-
building.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I should
Yeah.
know that address. So we had a structural engineer who's working with us go in there last week with his team, and they did an assessment on every joist, every shingle, every hole, every issue that was presenting itself structurally. They are currently putting together a report that the property owner will be given that has step-by-step instructions or plans, excuse me, that he can either repair himself or give to a general contractor. Every time he makes a improvement or replacement repair, he can either have our engineer come in every time he does one or a group. That'll be BZA to kind of, that's the reporting body he has to go to. So it's moving. We'll see, once he gets the report, what he starts doing after that. So that's where we're at with that. And then after all those repairs are remediated by the property owner, our structural engineer will go in and do a final check of everything. And then the property owner will have to start working with the fire chief and the building inspector on fire code violations that are currently in place to be remediated.
Was it as extensive as we were afraid it might be?
Well, I mean, they don't have the report done yet.
I
right?
don't, but the structural engineer told me he had seen worse. So I guess that's promising.
Were those worst
It's the World
buildings
Trade
saved?
Centers.
I don't
Yeah, well,
know.
good question.
He didn't tell me, but
Oh.
it is extensive. It's gonna be a large investment from the property owner. Whether or not that happens, it's completely his call. So we'll see where that goes. But
All right.
first is structure, then is fire,
Good start.
and then the tenants can go back
Now, what's the time limit on that as far as getting all the repairs done?
That'll be up to BZA. Currently, it is, when they had his trial, the property owner's trial in April, it was a 6-month window. They've been extending it 30 days every
Mhm.
time he comes to BZA. That's part of the conditions of it. So if there's significant progress, they will continue to do that. If they don't see significant progress, they will end extending his 30-day limit and start charging a fine of $100 a day for noncompliance.
Right.
So in theory, they could extend it till, next October for all, repairs to be done. They could say, nope, has to be done by October. It's really up to them as the body on that. It's a quasi judicial body at that point.
Mhm.
I do think, though, they have been seeing progress just with him sealing the building. So just getting, wood or metal up where there's holes in the roof and the windows, just to seal it against, the elements and pests. So there's movement. So they've been continuing that, but I'm not sure if they stop seeing that, they're going to keep doing it. So.
Very good.
All right.
So that's all I've got. Anything else?
Nope.
Nope. Just
All
thank
right.
you, Hannah and Dean.
Yes.
And do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
All right. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? I thought I'd give enough time.
Nobody
All
ever.
right, let's go.
See you, Sandy.
Bye.
Bye, Sandy.